Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. I'll tell you what an absolutely gorgeous morning it is too. Some mornings you come out here and it is just it just remarkable really because you come out and just the way nature hits you, the smells, the beauty, the sounds. Listen to the birds singing back in there. Just absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you, when you get the chance to actually get out there and restore your soul, just being outdoors and outside and just kind of like closing down all the noise in the background. I'm telling you, it makes a big, big difference. And here I am in retirement. And this retirement that I'm having right now, I'll tell you these moments that I'm able to come out here, just sit outside and have a coffee in the morning are truly invaluable to me. And boy, how I wish that while I was working, I actually got up a little bit earlier and did it because it just pays such dividends in my mind. And I'm glad I get to come out here and share it with you guys, absolutely for sure. And having said that, Judy and I were so deeply, deeply touched with the love and affection and condolences that you as a community shared with us. It really, really did make a big, big difference from all over the wide world. And guys, I want to tell you something. Kindness is something the blind can see and the deaf can hear. And kind words, they don't cost very much to give, but boy, I'll tell you, the dividends they make in other people's lives are phenomenal. And don't ever think that they go unnoticed. I pray that you guys would just be an encourager out there. Someone at work, someone in your family, someone needs encouragement today. And I would just say, hey, just have that sensitivity. I know it's tough because look, life happens to all of us. And things are going on and swirling around, and we just get so distracted by what's happening in our own worlds that sometimes we just forget to take that moment to pause. And I would just encourage you, try to, have that conscientious moment to pause, take a look around, see what's going on about you, and see if there's someone out there that can be encouraged by hello or a good smile or a pat in the back or something like that, because it does make a difference. And Judy and I really love everything that you've done for this family in sharing those words of encouragement. And we want to thank you so, so much. I'll tell you what. Wow. Well, guys, the article that I was reading today has a massive, massive impact on this space that you and I are in right now. Now, this one comes out of the Supreme Court, and it's a decision that was made in reference to the IRS being able to actually investigate third parties and their financial information ex parte. That means without even notifying them if it relates to any case that they're working. And it doesn't matter what the information is. It's not just singled out to financial information. And why is this such a big deal? Well, guys, under normal circumstances, if somebody was under investigation, for tax evasion or non-payment of tax or whatever, then of course the IRS could investigate their financial information, go to the bank and excuse me, and get all their records and all thus and such and everything like that. That was expected. Now, when it came to a third party, someone that maybe interacted with them, let's say, a contractor, a supplier, a this, a that, or whatever, then the IRS would have to notify them and send out a request to provide information if they could supply it, and it had to be done in a particular way. Well, now the rules are allowing this decision coming out of the Supreme Court is going to allow the IRS to do it ex parte without even notifying the third parties that they're going to their banks or to their cell phone companies where they're going to solicit subpoena cell phone records and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, how does that have a huge impact for us? Well, guys, in this space, privacy is probably one of the most paramount issues that we deal with, isn't it? Big time, right? Well, now the Supreme Court has given the IRS the ability to go out there and do what, guys? Actually send requirements to provide information to not just your exchanges or your brokers or your banks, but to anybody that interacts with you. Now, let's talk about current events in that capacity. What's been going on with Ledger lately and the sharding of your, your seed phrase if you want to, sign up for their Recover platform? Well, they flat out come out and said, hey, if governments were to come to us and serve us with documents to provide information, then we would have to give them your private seed phrase. Hello, I'm telling you what, guys, don't think if they can do it, they will do it. It is going to come. And this is going to be a full-on attack against individual custody. And what you're probably going to see legislatively coming down the pike is you're probably going to see a lot of these hardware wallets being required to provide KYC and the mechanism to absolutely obtain people's seed phrases. I kid you not. I know that sounds almost like sacrilege when you're talking about our, this digital asset space and how paramount that is to us, but I think that is what is going to eventually come down the road. Now, why do I believe that? Well, I believe that primarily because when you're dealing with traditional finance, which I think a lot of this is going for, don't kid yourself, all these attacks on exchanges, stable coins and the like and all that is really only motivated with one primary purpose, and that is to get this entire space into the institutional hands. This is not about, banning crypto and all this kind of stuff. No, guys, regulatory clarity in this space is going to bring about institutional adoption and with it, institutional custody, just like stocks are institutional custodied, and it's going to happen. I absolutely believe it 100%. Now, that is why I believe down the road we are going to see attacks on our self-custody. And yes, you may be able to custody your digital assets yourself, but there's going to be KYC associated with it, and the government is going to have the ability to get at that seed phrase because of this one reason alone. If you were in a major lawsuit or you were going through an insolvency event or the government wanted to seize your assets when it came to legal action that they want to take, like in this case with the Supreme Court decision for the IRS, this is where they can't do it right now, can they, with digital assets? Every other asset class, they have the ability to go out there and seize it. Do you think they're going to forfeit that legislative enforcement power to this space and allow people to just continue on sheltering assets in self-custody that they don't have access to? I'm telling you guys, it's on the chopping block. It's just a matter of time. And this Supreme Court decision is massive. Absolutely massive in its implications. Now, I'm going to put the link right down here in the description of this video. You go read it. I would encourage you to read it because it's going to have a major, major impact. Now, look, a lot of us in this space, we're not out there trying to cheat the tax system. But isn't that what Biden just got up on the TV and basically said we're not going to allow tax cheats and crypto traders, throwing us into the loop that just because we're into crypto, we must be tax cheats? I mean, that is an absolutely offensive statement, number one. Number two, it's completely ridiculous because if you want to know the actual facts of it, the transactions in digital assets are the most traceable transactions that you can possibly get. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, they're not going to find my stuff because I've done this, this, and this. I'm telling you guys, when you first bought your crypto, how did you buy it? Well, more than likely, you put your fiat into some sort of on-ramp like an exchange and you bought it, right? Well, when you made a transfer from there to a cold storage wallet and from there to this and from there to that, thinking that you're hiding it, every one of those transactions is absolutely traceable. And don't think that the powers that be, these government agencies, can't see it. It is so traceable. And that was one of the big things, like back in the day when I was a special enforcement officer and stuff like that, people were utilizing Bitcoin and things like that. And of course, a lot of the underground economy were really thinking, hey, this is a way to get out from underneath the man, right? Because they can't find out what I'm doing. Turns out to be the most traceable and trackable transactions that there were. And yes, people were found out. Hey, look at what happened with the Silk Road. I mean, they were just watching that guy, watching him, and then snagged his computer before he had the time to shut it down at a public library. If they want to get you guys, they're going to get you. Let me tell you right now. And the truth of the matter is, it really is no laughing matter, but you've just got to be absolutely aware of what's transpiring and what the impact of these decisions are, because it is going to affect you and I in a big, big way. Now, look, at the end of the day, I really don't mind the whole idea of KYC and that myself. And I'll tell you why. Because when we get that institutional adoption, that institutional custody, I'm telling you, these markets are going to blow up like no tomorrow. And those of us that have had the good sense and God's grace to be able to get into this space when we did, I'm telling you, it is going to be absolutely mesmerizing, life changing in a way that I don't think most of us can even fathom at this point, but it is going to be something else. And having said that, guys, look, I know there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt being bandied about in the marketplace right now, and people don't know really which way to turn. Let me tell you this, don't give up your hope. Hope is one of those quintessential elements that you have got to keep alive. I know it can be discouraging when you're waiting. In fact, there's even a scripture that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And I get that. That's a real, I've experienced it in many cases, in many instances. But I'll tell you this, you got to keep your hope alive. Keep it alive. Keep your dreams alive. Go out there and visualize them. You know, when Judy and I remember the days we couldn't even afford one tomato. And I would dress her up and I would take her down to the mall and we would go shop and have her try things on that we couldn't even afford to buy. We couldn't even afford to buy the mittens, let alone some of the other stuff we were looking at. But I kept those dreams alive. Now she has some of those things, right? At that time, it was just a dream, but you got to keep those dreams alive. And that's why we're invested into this space. Look, all of us invest to make a profit, don't we? I mean, that's the whole point of investing. We're looking for a profit, and some of us looking for life-changing wealth. But you got to have a focus. It's not just about achieving the number. It's about reaching the goal. Keep your goals alive. Keep your dreams alive. Just get out there and keep doing it. Don't let yourself get flooded out with all of this fear or that it's never going to happen and on and on and on. I don't know how many people I've talked to about digital assets that literally kind of laugh at you, chuckle on the inside. You can see it in that little smirk they got underneath, and they think that we're half-cocked or crazy. You know, the day's going to come when your people are going to ask you two questions. The first one's going to be, how did you know? And the second one's going to be, why didn't you tell me? And the fact of the matter is, you're going to be able to tell them, I knew because I was keeping my ear to the ground. I kept my hope alive. And in terms of telling you, man, I was screaming it from the rooftops and you were laughing me out of the kitchen. So, hey, that's what's going to go down. I really genuinely believe it. And guys, you can almost feel it. You can practically taste it in the atmosphere. Something is going to change. And it's going to happen in a big way. So you just hold on, because I think we're going to see some tremendous, amazing things happen in this space over the next while. Oh, guys, I know you're having a great Monday. Mondays are always fantastic. You know, you get to start your whole new week, all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you what, I commend you for those of you that are still in the, the rat race of getting up and going to work and all that, and all the dropping the kids off and whatever. That is a major, major deal. But I'll tell you what, we're going to have a fantastic day. And I pray that your day is going to be absolutely amazing. And until later on, when we release our video, have a great one and take care.